This is part 2 of creating a Max for Live automated transient wobble machine. That's kind of what I've called it for now. So at the moment we simply have a basic transient detection, so if the volume goes over a certain threshold, in this case negative 12 decibels, it sends out a trigger, and the trigger goes to this line which changes the dial, and the dial is attached to the pitch. Very, very basic stuff. What I want to do in this part is I want to change this simple line. So at the moment it just goes from 128 to 64 over 1000 milliseconds. I want to change that to some different values. Now a few things have crossed my mind on how to do this. I probably will end up creating some kind of custom envelope drawing device, but for now let's just work on some cool random stuff. So this box here, when I trigger it, you'll see it triggers this live dial, which is all good, but let's make this a bit different. I want to use some random numbers. So let's just straight away, let's just go random 128, random 128. Okay, so if I bang this, we get a random number between 0 and 127. That's all good. Let's also do a random one for the time. So this one, let's say random 1000. So we'll get a random time between 0 and 1000 milliseconds or 1 second. So that's all good. Let's create a trigger with 2 bangs. So we can trigger both of these sequentially. Let's just move this down a bit. Put in one more bang here. So that means we can bang these both at the same time. Very good. And then I'll create a pack, we'll use a pack object, 0, 0. So this will pack together these two. Actually, I'm going to need to create 3 because I want 64. I'm going to use a combine object here, which is a little bit of a strange one, but it allows me to put in random shit. So I need combine, the first number, and then a comma. I hope that works. And then 64. It's going to have to be, I don't know if this is going to work, 64 space, and then the last one, I don't know if that's going to work, 64 space. Is that going to work? Okay, so we'll feed the first random into this, so that's the first value. This one needs to go into the end one. Let's see if we get a format like this from this combine. We do, but it's come out as a symbol, so we can fix that by doing from symbol. So we'll feed that through from symbol back into here, and let's bang it. Excellent. Okay, so you'll see we're getting a message box we can send to the line. The format goes the start value with a comma, then the finish value, and then the time in milliseconds. And we're randomizing the start value and the time. So let's go ahead and send that directly into the line. Let's get rid of this now. And let's just bring this down here so it's nice and neat. Get rid of these, and I will just put this here just so we can see what the value is. So you can see the live dial moving each time I hit one of these buttons. So it's kind of moving up and down. Okay, cool, let's try that. I'm going to connect the bang into this. Quite like how this is working. Let's try putting a longer option in for the time value. So this is 5000 milliseconds, super long. So that's way too much. Let's make this, we'll take this back to 1. In fact, let's specify this ourselves. So this is our first option of how long it's going to take. So I'm going to put in a live number box, and we will connect this to this, and we'll say what the values are of this. We're going to go 0, and let's go 5,000. So now we can specify how long the random interval will be, or the max random interval. We can also do the same here. We kind of need a min and a max. I'll get to this later. So what I'd like to do here, I want to combine another element of wobble, and I want to use an LFO. So let's go cycle, which is a basic sine wave output. So if I was to use what is the object here? Is this it? So if I feed this in here, okay, and then let's give the cycle some movement. Okay, and can I take the output of this? No, it's a signal. Can I take it from here? I can. Can I update this? Update interval 10 milliseconds. Let's go for, it's 100 milliseconds. Let's go for 10 so we get a smoother one. So you can see that this is cycling between 0 and 1. In fact, let's put in a slider just to make it a bit easier to see. Slider range. The range needs to be 2. And the output minimum is -1. Does that work? This. Okay, let's go for live dial, just so I can really see this. So this needs to be a float. The range needs to be -1 to 1. Will this work? Okay, so there's our LFO. I just need to tidy this up a bit. Let's just bring this over here. So we could connect this directly to this, and now we have an LFO on the pitch. No, we need to, because this is outputting -1 to 1, so that needs to be changed. So I'm going to scale this from -1. So these are the two inputs it's expecting to the two outputs it's expecting, which is 0 and 127. So if we feed that in there, now look at the number. Yeah, so we're getting an LFO wobble. Let's connect that to there now. So now we have a... Oh, we're also triggering this, which could be ideal. We'll see. Let's speed this up real fast. And we can change the range here. Okay, this is good. So what we can do is put in 2 new live number boxes and just connect these to the low output value and the high output value. So with these, we can restrict how much of the wobble is happening. I can slow it down again. Let's see what happens if we connect this transient detector back onto it. Does it mix them? Well, this isn't how we should do things, but... Interesting stuff. Okay, I'm going to save this and have a ponder on some more features, and I'll get back to you tomorrow.